I'm here today to tell you how experienced importers limit product defects. The process is broken down into 3 stages. Stage 1, prevent product defects before production begins. Stage 2, identify product defects that appear in production with a quality control inspection. And Stage 3, address product defects found and prevent their reoccurrence. This video will cover Stage 2. For Stage 1 and 3 videos on prevention and corrective action, follow the links in the description below. In Stage 1, we talked about the 6 steps to prevent product defects before production begins. These preventative steps can help eliminate most product defects. In the next stage, we'll explain how to identify quality defects that remain shortly before, during, and after mass production. Stage 2 is all about quality control inspection. So how can you identify product defects that appear in production with a quality control inspection? Most importers are familiar with the need to perform a pre-shipment quality control inspection on their finished goods, and some are aware of the options for help with this task. But few importers know the valuable insight you can get from conducting inspections during, before, and after mass production. And while inspection often occurs when a product is finished and packaged, forgetting to inspect at other stages can leave your product vulnerable to defects. There are 5 inspection opportunities throughout the production process: incoming, first article, during, pre-shipment, and container loading inspections. Incoming quality control is your first opportunity to inspect at your supplier's facility. In an incoming inspection, quality control staff should check materials, components, and parts shortly after the factory receives them. This ensures they meet your specifications and quality standards. The inspection happens before mass production begins, so you won't be inspecting actual production units yet. You can often rely on your supplier to perform this check, but there are some cases where you might want to perform it yourself. These might include working with a supplier for the first time, or if you have a history of receiving goods containing substandard components or materials, or maybe you need to verify rare or expensive materials or components. Your next quality control opportunity is first article inspection. First article inspection is the process for inspecting one of the first units off the line after mass production starts. This usually includes checking a set of critical characteristics to evaluate production, such as critical product dimensions. First article inspection is more common in the military, aerospace, automotive, medical device, and electrical industries. A first article is different from a pre-production sample. A pre-production sample is typically created by an engineer in the research and development department, whereas a first article is produced directly on the factory's mass production line and provides insight into the factory's actual production capabilities on a mass scale. First article inspection allows specific importers to investigate the quality and conformance of your production line to critical criteria. After production begins, you can consider a during production inspection. Known by many as due-pro inspection, this inspection occurs once mass production is underway, but not yet complete. Due-pro typically occurs when the factory has manufactured 15 to 80% of the total order quantity. Due-pro is your opportunity to identify and address quality issues before they affect an entire order. At this stage, you can check finished production units for visual appearance, proper assembly, and performance. Due-pro is always a good idea, but it's especially helpful if you've experienced quality issues in previous orders from the same supplier. Or maybe your product contains many different parts, or yet your product requires an abnormal production process. After 80% of goods are finished and packaged, you can consider a pre-shipment inspection. Pre-shipment inspection, or final inspection, is the most commonly performed inspection by importers, and it's the minimum requirement as recommended by QC professionals. Pre-shipment inspection typically involves inspecting a random sample of the total order using an acceptable sampling method like AQL. Because all or most of the order is now complete, the sample size will be more representative of overall quality. And unlike the previous inspection types, pre-shipment inspection offers the opportunity to check packaging materials and methods in addition to product quality. Pre-shipment inspection isn't great for preventing product defects because at this point, most of the order will already be completed and packaged. But finding defects during a pre-shipment inspection is always better than discovering them after shipment. Monitoring container loading is the last chance to perform an inspection. Container loading inspection is typically used by importers with custom loading and container requirements. This type of inspection focuses on reporting of carton loading procedures and quantities, rather than actual product quality. You might value this level of insight if you've previously experienced issues with product and packaging damage during transit. When to inspect your order is entirely up to you and your supplier. Conducting DuPro and final inspection can benefit most importers, but product type, past supplier experience, and QC budget will be key factors for deciding what inspections are best for you. If you have serious quality concerns, you might even consider stationing an inspector at the factory throughout the production, a process known as production monitoring. Whatever your circumstances, identifying quality defects as early as possible with a quality control inspection is an important step in limiting defects. But what happens when quality defects slip through the cracks? Click on the link below for the next video on Stage 3, addressing product defects and preventing reoccurrence.